It's time for really quick equity and excellence in teaching tips. I am your host, Michelle Singh, an educator, professor, author, student, and mother. I'm happy to share this topic from the Equal methodology, which is a framework for diversity, equity, and inclusion in education. So let's get right into our conversation.
As educators, we hold the power to shape the future by fostering equity in education. It's not just about leveling the playing field for all of our students. It's about acknowledging and addressing their unique cultural and social needs. So let me take you back to my own experience as an elementary student in the United States, where I discovered that learning was more than just gaining academic skills or competence. It was also about cultural competence, which was essential for my success as a student. The teachers who truly saw me saw the Jamaican Michelle, the culturally diverse Michelle, and the quiet, shy Michelle, who was still a leader in her own right, were those who helped me to feel a sense of belonging, helped me to see the light that I had, and helped me to understand my own value, ultimately helping me to uncover my worth. And they were the ones who I called on and looked to years later when I became a teacher in the same school system, because I knew I needed to have more than the competence in my content area. I also needed the cultural competence. So what is cultural competence? Well, it's the ability to understand and to appreciate and to respect the cultural differences that exist among us, especially in our diverse classrooms. And to foster cultural competence, we need to be aware of our own cultural biases and learn how to overcome them. This means embracing different cultures and incorporating culturally relevant materials and activities in our teaching. So today we're going to explore how we can harness the power of equity in education by fostering equity through cultural competence. Here are 3 culturally responsive teaching that practices that foster equity for all. Number 1 is to understand the value cultural differences have in the classroom. Number 2 is to incorporate diverse perspectives and experiences in the curriculum. And then number 3 is to participate in ongoing professional development and gain access to resources. So let's go ahead and take our teaching to the next level by embracing cultural competence. Topic number 1 is to understand and value cultural differences in the classroom. And so understanding and valuing cultural differences in the classroom is really a key factor in fostering equity in education, because it helps to create a more inclusive and welcoming environment for students. This approach recognizes that each student brings their own unique background, experiences, and perspectives to the classroom and seeks to celebrate and even incorporate those differences in the learning experience. And by doing so, it helps to close gaps and create opportunities for students to reach their full potential, regardless of their backgrounds or experience. Additionally, it helps to break down cultural biases and stereotypes, and it promotes a more respectful and understanding atmosphere in the classroom and beyond. So there are several ways that teachers can incorporate cultural diversity in the classroom, and this helps them to value the differences of their students. Number 1 is to build a positive culture even before school starts, so that all students feel welcomed, respected, and valued. Think about your space and your decorations in your classroom. What can you add or what can you include to make it more inclusive for the diverse learners that are going to enter your room? Number 2 is encourage student engagement in the learning process. How do you allow students to see their cultural backgrounds and experiences reflected in the curriculum and even in the classroom discussions and activities? Are there topics or resources that you can explore together? Number 3 is to promote cultural awareness. And just think about in what ways you can help your students develop an appreciation for diversity and become more culturally aware. Are there celebrations or holidays or events that you all can take part in that honors those different cultures and the diversity of the community? So finally, use multicultural groups and activities. You can group students together to work on projects or activities that encourage that cross-cultural learning, those cross-cultural conversations and understanding. That's going to help them to see similarities and differences between themselves and the other cultures that are present in the room. So think about what lessons or activities can you add, and what groups can you put together so students can explore these kinds of learning tasks. So now that we've talked about understanding and valuing cultural differences in the classroom, let's jump into topic number 2, which is incorporating diverse perspectives and experiences in the curriculum. So incorporating diverse perspectives and experiences can foster equity, right? By ensuring that all students see themselves represented and valued in the educational materials. So when students feel seen and valued, they are more likely to be engaged and motivated to learn. In addition to that, when you incorporate diverse perspectives, this can help to challenge students' assumptions that they may have about certain groups or certain types of people. And this can even broaden their understanding of just the world in general, making them more culturally aware and more empathetic. And this can lead to definitely a more inclusive and equitable learning environment where all students feel respected and have equal opportunities to succeed. So here are some examples of what a teacher can incorporate, how a teacher can incorporate those diverse perspectives and experiences into the curriculum. And the teacher can do so by, number 1, including books and other materials that represent a wide range of cultures, a wide range of identities and experiences, and that challenges stereotypes and biases. Number 2 is to encourage students to share their own experiences and perspectives and create opportunities for them to connect their own experiences to the material that is being covered. Number 3 is to use real world examples, current events and case studies that reflect the experiences and perspectives of diverse groups or a diverse range of students. And number 4 is provide opportunities for students to learn about and engage with people from other cultures, people from different cultures and backgrounds, whether you're going to do this through field trips, virtual field trips, guest speakers, or other community-based type of activities, like even service learning. Okay, so when you're incorporating these kinds of diverse perspectives and experiences in the curriculum, teachers can really help their students to understand and appreciate the experiences and the perspectives of others, and to develop the skills that they need to work effectively with people from a wide range of backgrounds. And it can help to promote equity as well, because it can close opportunity gaps and it can create more inclusive and equitable learning environments for all students. So you heard a bit about incorporating diverse perspectives and experiences. Now we're going to move on to topic number 3, which is participating in ongoing professional development and accessing resources. So we all are aware that participating in ongoing professional development and accessing resources is very beneficial, but it can also help to foster equity in education. These learning and networking experiences can provide teachers with the knowledge and the skills and the tools needed to address the disparities that exist in our educational system, and it can create inclusive and equitable learning environments for our students. For example, anti-bias and culturally responsive training can help teachers develop a deeper understanding of cultural differences and the experiences of diverse student populations. And it can also equip teachers with strategies that they can use to create inclusive classrooms and inclusive spaces that really meets the needs of all their learners. Number 2, professional development and professional learning networks can give teachers access to resources and to materials that represent diverse groups and diverse perspectives and diverse experiences. And that way they can incorporate those different voices, those diverse stories in their curriculum to promote understanding and appreciation for cultural differences. Number 3, professional development on inclusive teaching practices and even inclusive assessment methods can help teachers create equitable assessments and evaluations that accurately reflect students' learning and growth, regardless of their backgrounds and cultural differences. And number 4 is professional development and professional learning networks can also provide the space and the time for teachers to engage in ongoing self-reflection and collaboration to identify and address their own biases and their assumptions, and to develop more inclusive, equitable teaching practices over time. So by participating in these ongoing professional development and gaining access to these resources, teachers can truly help to create learning environments that support all students and close those disparity gaps that exist in our classrooms and in our education system. We're at the end of our discussion about fostering equity through cultural competence. And the 3 tips that we reviewed were, number 1, to understand and value cultural differences in the classroom. Number 2 is to incorporate diverse perspectives and experiences in the classroom, in the curriculum. And number 3 was to participate in ongoing professional development and resources. So I want to thank you for taking time to listen and being open to learning more about this topic. We appreciate you being on this journey toward equity and excellence in teaching with us. And here's one last thing before you go. It is without a doubt that when we create these culturally responsive classrooms, that we create an environment that respects and values all of our students' backgrounds and experiences. This can lead to increased student engagement and academic achievement, as well as a more positive classroom culture. And by fostering equity through cultural competence, we're not only addressing the needs of our diverse learners, but we're also helping to dismantle the systems and the structures that perpetuate inequality in education. So let's continue to learn and grow in our cultural competence and work toward creating a more equitable education system for all our students. Because when we harness the power of equity in education, we are setting our students up for success in the classroom and beyond. So think about what steps or step you will take to harness the power of equity in your classroom with culturally responsive teaching and cultural competence. Take care.
The next move is on you. So let's put these ideas to work. Take time to implement and time to reflect. And don't forget to join the conversation. I invite you to share your thoughts and progress with our community online at LCT-E Learning. You may even use the hashtag #LearnWithLCT-E. We look forward to engaging with you. Thank you for watching.